Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 247. Andrew Eisen here. Looky! Look what I got! A weight rack! A rack for which to put my weight on! Yay! I'm finally done with this crap! Oh, man. So, I started working from home end of February last year, 2020. Stopped going to the gym around the same time. Realized, oh, we're going to be in this for a while. So to recap the story that I've been telling for the last 2 months. So I said, I'm going to get some weights from home. Well, weights, like GPUs, are ridiculously expensive right now. And have been for a long time. So a 45-pound plate, generally speaking, weights are going to cost you about $1 a pound. So 15-pound dumbbell, you can expect to pay around $15. 45-pound plate, you can expect to pay around $45. A pair of 45s, because you can't have just one. You need one for, both sides. Should run you about $90. Throughout the last year, I never saw like a set of 45s for less than $200, and they were usually a lot more than that. It was not until, I think, late May, early June, I finally found a good set of weights, plus the bar, for $300. Which, it was about 300 pounds all told, so $300. Expensive, but a good price. I bought it. I'm like, great, now I need a bench and a rack. So I bought the bench and the rack, and only the bench showed up. And so I'm like, hey, Walmart, where's my rack? And they said, I don't know. Ask who you bought it from. I said, I bought it from you. And they said, no. We passed that off to a third-party seller. Oh. Third-party seller says, yeah, it must have got lost in the mail. How the hell do you lose that in the mail? I mean, it's not like a video game that can get, slipped between the seats or something like that. How do you lose that? But apparently it went poof. And so they said, well, I can give you a partial refund because, I'm not disassembling this bench here. That took 2 hours to put together. I had to buy a whole new toolbox just to put the bench together. So I said, I can give you a partial refund. I said, fine. Bench plus a weight rack was about $200. And he gave me a partial refund of $30. I said, no. I have not seen a weight rack for anything less than $80. So, fork over another $50, boy. Alright. Why'd I go with boy? I was going for something else like boya or something, but, Dipstick. That's better. Dipstick is better. Boy. It's Atreyu. It's not Atreyu. What's Kratos' kid's name? Kevin? No, it's not. It's something like it's close to Atreyu, isn't it? But God of War man, Kratos, he can't remember it either. That's why he's boy. So I got another $50 out of it. Bought the rack, again from Walmart, but actually from Walmart. Atreus, thank you. Pretty close. So this arrived today. I put it together. And of course I shot a video of me trying desperately, seeing how much strength I've lost over the last 16 months since I've been in a gym, so I'll probably edit that and have that up Monday or Tuesday. Should be fun. I survived. I didn't drop any weight on my face. I was kind of nervous while filming. I'm like, I could die. But no one has to worry about it, because if you see the video, I obviously survived. Matthew says 3 days later, news report guy gets crushed attempting to bench press without a spotter. Yeah, well, this does have these. So it has little safety catches on it. So as long as I'm working above these, the bar catches here, and I probably won't die. So that's nice, little safety feature. But yeah, what you're seeing on there right now is 45, 35, and 25. So that's 225, 05, 50, 55, 255. I'm like working backwards. 45-pound bar? Yeah, 255. So that's or at least used to be a pretty decent weight for me. I don't want to go higher than that without a spotter, you know? That's fine. 255, that's for at home by myself, plenty. I don't really need more than that. I do actually have a box of smaller weights. I think it has like actually I don't know. I haven't opened it. So I have another box of weights. Oh, here we go. 2 10s, 4 5s, and 2 2.5s. So, if I want to put a little extra weight on there, I can, but considering how much strength I've lost over the last 16 months, 255 is fine. And that's not a working weight for me right now. So probably 205, a bit under my body weight. That's probably a good working weight for me right now. Matthew says I follow someone on Twitter who picks up scam calls and trolls them. Problem is they're all robocalls, so they don't care. I guess if you stay on long enough, you can probably get to an actual person, but good on them. Because as long, you know, the amount of time they waste of the scammer, then that's just a few minutes less time they are scamming somebody else. So good on whoever that is. Email scams, on the other hand, that a lot of those are monitored. At least they used to be. Looking at them now, they're probably all automated. But important safety tip: whenever you get anything from your bank, or I haven't seen any like pretending to be the government, but normally when I see scam stuff, it's coming from the bank. Or services like PayPal, Amazon, Netflix, anything you might have a credit card or an account with, and they look official. They're like, oh, there's a problem with your account. Click here to fix it. Those are always scams. One real easy way to tell: look at the email address. It's always... It looks like a cat slept on the keyboard for an hour. It's just string of letters and numbers. At more string of letters and numbers. Always check the address. So anyway, yeah, never click the link. You will, if you hover over the link and you look in the little status bar in the lower left, unless you've reorganized your screen, you'll see where that's going, and it's going to look really scary. Never just mark it as spam, throw it away. And to their credit, those emails do look really official. Oh, shoot, there's something wrong with my Amazon account or my Netflix account or Disney Plus account? Oh, what's this about? Oh, you're done. Yep. Come on. Step it up, yahoo.com. If I can figure this out at a glance, surely you can too. So now I have a place to hang my dirty clothes. I mean, that's what we all eventually use any home workout equipment for, right? So in a couple of weeks, you're just going to see my underwear hanging on this damn thing. That's $500 worth of stuff. But if you think about it, the money I saved not going to the gym for the last 16 months is not quite $500 in saving, but it's getting there. You know, another half year or so, and this thing will have paid for itself. So, not too shabby. Matthew says, honestly, don't get a ton of spam. Gmail's pretty good at this point. Ah, good. I have a Gmail account, of course, but it's not my primary account, so I don't use it too much. Oh, hey, my Google AdSense, my YouTube revenues finally rolled over $100, so I got paid. Yay! So, thanks to everyone who watches my videos. That my revenue meter ticks up slowly, but every year and change it rolls over $100 and I get paid, so thanks. $500 you could spend on a PS5 or a Series S. That's /sarcasm. Okay. Yeah, if I could find one. Still trying to get a damn graphics card. Good luck with that. So, because it's ridiculous, around about noon, it gets ridiculously hot in here. From about 3 in the morning to 11, it's between 11 and 12 somewhere, is fine. But once you get to noon, oh man. I don't want to do anything. It's too hot. It's just miserable. So I thought, I should record a debut review before it gets hot. Matthew has a 3070. Well, good for you, Matthew. I'm not bitter. You know, I'd be fine with the 3060 or even probably something from the later 2000 series. You know, the 2060 Super or something would probably be good enough. I can't find those either. River says, my mom falls for scam calls. I have to tell her to block all incoming calls that are not family. Yeah, if you don't recognize the number. Basically this. If it's not a person, hang up. Maybe I'm just lucky, but I have not gotten any scam calls from an actual person. They have all... Or wait. Didn't I have one last week or 2 weeks ago? Maybe I did. Maybe I had one, but almost all of them are robocalls, so... Matthew says, when is your place of work planning going back to in-office work? I don't think ever. I think, so far as I know, my work is like, if you want to work from home, do it. In fact, my supervisor is considering moving, and I told him, you know what? If we can just remote, maybe I could move to a cheaper area. Because I live in Southern California. I live in San Diego. It is expensive here. I live in a one-bedroom, $13.25 a month. And that does not include utilities. It's expensive to live here. But moving's a pain in the ass. But I am in the fortunate position that I could just move somewhere else where it's cheaper to live. So even though I'm not getting a raise, it would be like getting a raise. So, but I like it here. And I hate moving, so... And I'm doing okay financially. Like, I can afford to be here and put food in my pantry and buy the occasional video game. So, you know, I'm doing all right. Let's see. What about some sun-blocking drapes to keep the heat out? Well, I do have blinds. So, there's that. But I'm also on the outside. I'm on the outside of my building, so the sun bakes my wall all day. That's a bummer. Lee, hello. Lee has a 2070, or River has a 2070, is good for now. Matthew says, I'm weird. Discord is my primary way to talk to friends, family, and Google Voice for the rest. Yeah, I can hear you on that. I don't, there's not a ton of people I talk to, but yeah, just messaging through various messaging services, texting, phone calls. Yeah, I don't use Discord, but I can see the appeal of it. Firelight, hello. All right, where was I? Okay, yeah. So, in case anyone was wondering, water, protein. So I recorded a debut review this morning of He-Man. Do 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 do. They don't use the theme song. I'm very sad. So there's a new He-Man show on Netflix. I actually watched all 5 episodes. Apparently they're doing the thing where they're just airing the first portion of the season and they'll air the next portion later. Because I got to the end of episode 5 and I'm like, that's it? Google. Oh, there's more coming later? Oh. Alright. So, so I shot a debut review this morning. And, as you may be able to tell, I have a new mic. Thank you, patrons. And I used my new mic to record my debut review this morning. But Audacity, for some reason, didn't do this the last 2 or 3 videos I shot. Decided to default to my webcam's microphone, which was not even pointed in my direction. So the debut review for He-Man has really bad sound. I'm probably going to have to use the camera mic and just clean it up as best I can. It's going to sound awful. I may have to throw it away. Damn you, Audacity! So always check your defaults. I don't know why Audacity suddenly today decided to default to my webcam mic. It's never done that before. Arg. Well, He-Man doesn't use the He-Man theme song, but it's okay. It's worth a watch, especially if you're my age and you grew up watching He-Man. I like, it uses mostly the original designs, but some of the character designs are updated a little bit, and I like most of the updates. A lot of the characters get some new outfits. Most of the main cast get some slight tweaks to their outfits. Teela and Evelyn and Man-at-Arms all have... they still look like themselves, but they have slightly different outfits today. These in the new one. He-Man's or Adam's transformation into He-Man hilariously kind of goes more in a more magical girl transformation thing where you have the naked silhouette 360 before his his fuzzy breeches and his chest harness come on. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, is it good? It's okay. I think really I like what it's trying to do. I don't. From a narrative standpoint, I like what it's trying to do. I think the dialogue probably could have used another pass. Like the good intentions, but it's like a little ham-fisted and not in a dopey, charming way that the original series was. It's not doing the best job at balancing the hokiness of the original series and a bit more adult serious tone with the new one, which gives it a bit of tonal whiplash. Not terrible, but but still, I'm entertaining enough. I enjoyed the first episode. Encouraged me to watch the second. I watched all 5 episodes, and when they release the next batch, I'll watch those too. So, yeah, overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Let's see. I have the power. He-Man, if you remember, he's got to be yelling up on like an F or something. Yeah, He-Man. I mean, you remember He-Man, big burly He-Man, but he had a high voice. If you think of the "I have the," which Chicago's saying in the chat, "I have the power." I mean, he's way up there. It is really high. Well, so is Lion-O in the Thundercats. He was actually more of a baritone voice, but Thunder, Thundercats, ha! Is like way up there. Ah, man, all our burly masculine heroes in the 80s had really high voices, or at the very least, could get really high in their head voice. Not that I'm jealous or anything. Baka. That reminds me, who's talking about Adam? Chicago is talking about Adam. They did one design change where Adam has a very distinct design from He-Man. They look like two different people. In the original show, Adam and He-Man looked exactly the same. Same face, same haircut, same build, just different clothes. In this one, clothes are pretty much the same for each character, but Adam is a younger, thinner-faced, reedy dude. Well, actually, he's lithe. He has more of a runner or swimmer's physique than a big, hulking, muscular physique that He-Man has. So you definitely would not be able to look at the two and see them as the same person. So that's a change, but that works. She-Ra did the same thing. In the original She-Ra show, Adora and She-Ra, again, looked exactly the same, just different clothes. In the new She-Ra cartoon that came out a couple years ago, they did kind of the same thing. Face is the same, but she, like, grows a foot in height. And, packs on muscle, gets, broader shoulders, and her hair changes. So, but they don't, I mean, she looks the same, but there's a physical difference. But they don't do the hidden identity in that show, so everyone knows that Adora is She-Ra. That's not a thing in the new show, so. Lee says, He-Man and She-Ra I used to watch. What's funny is I remember watching He-Man. I don't remember watching She-Ra. Until I realized that half of the characters I knew were actually from She-Ra. Like Hordak and Mantena and Catra and who not Beastman. Beastman's He-Man, the other fuzzy dude. Can't remember. I must have watched She-Ra because I remembered all the characters. Because I think I watched the first... I think I did a debut review for the original She-Ra before the new She-Ra came out. And I was like, oh my god, I know who all these characters are. I must have seen this at some point. I just didn't remember. And I realized that I knew... She-Ra takes place on Etheria instead of Eternia, and she has this sort of, not power, but I think it's like wisdom or something like that. And I was like, how do I know? I must have watched it at some point. It's probably on right after. Are those shows good? No. No. They're incredibly charming, but no, they're not good. The new She-Ra, I would say, is actually solidly good. The new He-Man, I think it might be a little hamstrung by the fact that it's actually a sequel to the 80s cartoon instead of a brand new thing. That might be hamstringing it a little bit, but I do like what they're doing with it. They're actually giving character to the main cast of characters instead of just having them, archetypes. You actually get some character now, which is cool. Also, Tila takes the lead, which is fine because she was the most interesting character anyway. She was the only one with any possible arc, I think, because she was like, other than King Randor or something, she was the only one who didn't know He-Man and Adam were the same person. She's got like the no one knows where she's from angle going. So I think that was a good choice for the narrative focus, at least for this first batch of He-Man cartoons. So fun stuff. Does the show work if you're not steeped in He-Man nostalgia? Admittedly, probably not as well. But so if you're not at least nostalgic fan of He-Man, it's probably not. You'll probably watch it and go, it's all right. But there is a lot of value. But if you are a nostalgic fan for He-Man, there's a lot of value in watching and go, ooh, I know who that is. Ooh, I own that toy. And that one and that one and that. In fact, I think I only recognized like 2 toys that I don't have. I don't have Castle Grayskull. I don't have the Queen. I have King Randor, or whatever his name is. Did they make a Queen toy? I don't know. I don't have her. I know there was one character and there was like, I don't have that. Oh, it's the opposite mechanical horse. I think Strider is one horse, and I think Nightmare is the other one. I don't have that one. But I think I had like every single character in the show. I'm like, I have that. I have all the vehicles too. The only thing, I never had the Grayskull playset. I have Snake Mountain, but I don't have the Grayskull playset. But that's okay, because Snake Mountain's far cooler. Let's see. Look like a pale version of He-Man? Like skin tone pale? Or the original He-Man was just so slight. I don't know how you would be a pale version of that. There was nothing to it. Bad guys, good guys, they run at each other. We're done. That was the whole thing. Let's see. Chaos says, I'll watch eventually, but I don't want to watch something new while I feel horrible. Yeah, I'm sorry you feel horrible. Hope you feel better. Let's see. Lee says, they usually change it from the original. He-Man and She-Ra are siblings. He-Man, so far as I know, doesn't exist in the new She-Ra version. Although they could go in that direction if they wanted, I suppose. But being that this is in continuity with the original show, then yeah, She-Ra would still be Adam's sister and would be out there somewhere. So who knows? They may actually they do journey to Paternia and Subternia, Heaven and Hell, in this show. So they could go, and they mentioned that Eternia is the center of the universe and all the worlds, its magic sustains the rest of the cosmos. So Etheria's out there somewhere, so She-Ra could be out there somewhere. So, we might have She-Ra show up. That could be cool. Let's see. I enjoyed the Netflix remake of Voltron. I never saw it. I hear it's pretty good. I get Chicago, so I can't tell you if the He-Man remake is in the same vein or not. I would guess no, because from what I understand, the Netflix remake of Voltron is actually a remake. This Masters of the Universe Revelation, or whatever it's called, is a direct continuation. It's not a remake. It picks up where the original cartoon left off, or stopped. So probably not exactly in the same vein, but it is a little bit more adult. I mean, you have some characters saying hell, damn, and bollocks. A couple characters do die. Uh, People actually do get, the characters have swords and they use them how swords, spears and swords, and they use the spears and swords how spears and swords are supposed to be used. Unlike what they did in the original show. How He-Man never stabbed or slashed anyone, and he just, threw a tree at him. you know? People actually get stabbed and sliced in this show. It's not gory. It's not even particularly violent. So I would say that if the original show was aimed at 6-year-olds, this is aimed at 10-year-olds. It's not like super dark or adult or anything, but it's a. So if you've only aged about 5 years in the last 30 some years, then it should be fine. Lisa's talking about remakes. I don't like the newest remake of Thundercats. They redid Thundercats? I don't remember. Oh, Thundercats Roar. I was gonna look at that, but I think was it Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network only had the first 2 minutes of the show, and it's. So Thundercats was aiming at a, 6 to 12-year-old range. Thundercats Roar seems to be aiming at those kids who are adults now and they're 4-year-olds. Because I saw the first 2 minutes, and what I found interesting is there were a lot of jokes that were very specific to having knowledge of the original show, which a 4-year-old is not. So I think the intention of that show is to be for very young children, but having adult fans of the original show being able to, I remember that. I see what they're saying there. I really don't like the art style they went with. I think it's ugly. It's the the jelly bean mouth, noodle armed. It looks kind of like Adventure Time, and I really don't like that style. But that's one of the popular styles in modern American animation, so it is what it is. But then again, that show's not targeting my age group anyway, so. They did do a Thundercats in 2011, or was it even older than? Actually, they redid He-Man in the early 2000s somewhere, which I thought was actually pretty good. I saw the first few of the new Thundercats, not Thundercats Roar, but the other one, and I thought it was okay. It was a total reimagining, and I thought it was kind of meh, not bad, but didn't really keep me watching. So yeah, let's see. Chaos had Grayskull, sadly not anymore. Yeah. Did the first He-Man remake go well? If you're talking about the one I was just talking about, that was 15 years ago, I thought it was on the right track. I think it got canceled before its time, but I think it tried to do a. It seemed to be aimed at 12 to 14-year-olds maybe, that kind of an age group. Of course, I was in my 20s when I saw it, I think. It seemed to have, I'm going off of memory here, but it seemed to have a real lot of affinity and love for the original property, but was doing a more mature spin on it. And what I remember, I thought it was pretty successful at. So I think that remake of He-Man was fine. This one, again, is not a remake. It's a continuation of the original. So DK Samaritan, I think that's a super chat. Gives me $10. Thank you. Found me through the behind the scenes of 50 Shades of Grey pop-up book. Funny how things change. Your serious sense of humor still makes me grin. No, I'm glad to hear that. Glad I can make some of y'all giggle and laugh here and there. That was fun. I remember making that video. It was actually difficult finding someone who would squirt me in the face with fake semen. If that doesn't make any sense, the joke is I had a 50 Shades of Grey pop-up book. I'm like, what's in the 50 Shades of Grey pop-up book? And I open it up and a dildo flops out. I'm like, oh, what in the heck? And they open up and it goes splurt. And I had to figure out how to make fake semen. I ended up making it out of, I think, egg white, yogurt, and water. And so I had someone sitting under a table, holding up the dildo, and then had a syringe full of it, and just went, and actually aiming with a syringe, that took a couple of takes. And I think the behind the scenes one, it's something. I had a separate video that was a montage of her missing my face like 5 times. It's splattering the wall behind me. Fun times. One of my what's funny is the reacts video where the joke was I didn't react to anything except kittens, and then I was furiously masturbating as a reaction. I showed that video to my mother and then my sister, and those 2 videos made their reactions to that video. And one's called, Mom Reacts to Son Masturbating, and the other's Sister Reacts to Brother Masturbating. And those 2 videos, the How to Make Fake Semen video, the Behind the Scenes 50 Shades of Grey pop-up book, those are by far my most popular videos. I mean, they're in the millions of views, I think. Go figure. Makes me wonder what people are searching on YouTube to land on those. Although, what's been popular recently? My How to Spank the Monkey watch. And again, I wonder if that's people looking up something dirty on YouTube and happening across that, or if people just really need help with Rhythm Heaven Fever, which is a game that's almost 15 years old now. Spank the Monkey watch was a kind of a tutorial video I did to help people do one of the Rhythm Heaven Fever mini games. And that's actually been one of my more popular videos in the last couple of weeks. People have been, oh my god, thank you, in the comments. I'm like, this video is 10 years old. It's not that old. It's 7, 8 years old, something like that. Anyway, it's interesting how these cycles work. Berserk says Chaos would be super dark. Yeah, that's a dark one. I don't actually like Berserk, which is funny because it's got monsters and gore and stuff, but I never got into Guts. He's just such a boring ass character. Stoic to the point of having almost no character, or maybe I just didn't see enough of the show. I did like the little kid that gets run through. Like, he's like, this kid's like, hey, Mr. Guts. He's like, ah! Just runs this kid through. And what makes it hilarious, not just because a kid got run through, is he has, like, Cloud Strife's Buster Sword. He has this obnoxiously huge, definitely compensating for something sword. Runs this, like, 12-year-old kid through and pins him to the wall. I'm sorry, it's not supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be horrifying. But it's not funny. It's horrible. That's my favorite part of that show. I don't remember who this kid is or what the whole context of the scene, but that is just embedded in my mind. Just gigantic. It's like the width of the blade of this sword is like the kid's entire damn torso. Oh, it's not funny. It's terrible. Oh, God. Berserk is a show that opens in medias res. I pronounced that wrong, sorry. In the first episode, you have no context for what's going on, but you have this guy who, has one eye missing. He's got a giant sword and he fights a big tentacle monster and it's bloody and you're like, oh, this is kind of awesome. All right. And then you get in the second episode and that backs up to the beginning, and that show just didn't do anything for me. That first episode's a good first episode. It got me in. I was like, ooh, this looks like it's going to be interesting. And then I just didn't care for any of the characters in the show. That's really why Berserk doesn't work for me, is I don't like any of the characters. But that kid who gets pinned to the wall, that's a pretty great scene. I should definitely watch the Netflix Voltron. Yeah, I loved Voltron as a kid. I also like the Lion Voltron and the Cars Voltron. I would like to. It's intimidating because I think it's like 70-some episodes. But yeah, I would like to check it out and see. Oh, 2002 was the He-Man redo. Yeah, I thought it was early 2000s. AO 520. Hello. Chaos says the style is popular because it's cheap to produce. The bean mouth noodly arm thing. Yeah, it's a simpler. There's less detail in the character. I mean, the hands are usually a step up in complexity from like the Powerpuff Girls hands. You don't have to worry about proper joints, knees and elbows and stuff, which it's a legitimate style, and I just don't care for it. I wouldn't call it lazy, but I would definitely. It is certainly a quicker and cheaper thing to draw, just because the lack of line work and attention to realistic detail that you have to apply to the animation. The characters can just floppity their arms all over the place. It doesn't matter because that's the style. With something like the modern He-Man or something like that, it's fairly realistic proportions where the characters have to, bend at the elbows and they can't overextend or contort in ways that they shouldn't be able to. Oh, I also like that they buffed up the women's physiques in the new He-Man. Teela and Evelyn, even Sorceress, they are rocking some delts, man. They got some broad, round shoulders. They look great. Let's see. 2011 was Thundercats, says AF 520, and 202 was He-Man. Okay. Let's see. Matthew says it's not. Pardon me. It's not new anime, but you should check out The Great Pretender on Netflix. I did watch that. Ocean's 11, the anime. Yeah. It's a good way to describe it, I suppose. It gives you a pretty decent sense of it. Yeah, I watched it, and I enjoyed it. It's interesting because it does what it does really well, but it got so focused into actually telling the story of these characters that it wasn't doing exactly what I want. I wanted more of a Mission Impossible. I just want to enjoy the fun heist, and that wasn't the point of the show. That's still in there, and it's still great, but it's more focused on the characters and relationships and their histories and tying everything together. It's not really episodic in that sense. You can't just pick a heist and you need to watch the whole thing in order because everything builds on the past and comes around in the end. And I went in I just want a fun heist, and I got some of that, but it is that's not a bad thing. It's just it did something slightly different than what I wanted, but still enjoyed the show. Let's see. They remade Speed Racer, but that show's before my time. So they remade Speed Racer. The movie? I saw the movie. I liked the movie. Really liked the movie. I thought it was great. Jared says, I get them in my feed because you make them. Okay. Lee says, so many remakes. Firelight, love it. Yeah, more Rhythm Heaven, please. I really liked Rhythm Heaven. And I am so, to this day, so incredibly thankful that Nintendo didn't crowbar motion control into Rhythm Heaven, because it would have been absolutely unplayable. But more Rhythm Heaven, please. River says, first time in a while seeing you. Hello, River. Lupin for Heights. It's, yeah. I've seen a few of the movies, and some of the series. I've seen mostly the older stuff, like the 70s Lupin. I think I saw a little bit of the one that came out a couple of years ago. I'd really like to see that CG movie that came out a year or two ago. That looks great. Haven't seen it here in the West though. So there was a terrible Speed Racer cartoon on Nickelodeon that was bad. Oh, I saw Lupin, not the anime Lupin the Third, but Lupin on Netflix. Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. I was kind of meh. I mean, I liked it well enough to watch the 5 episodes that were there at the time, but I think they added 5 more episodes, and I've just not been inclined to watch. It's not bad. I just not quite there with it. So, last week I talked about isekai anime. And one of the ones I mentioned was... I forget. Let's see. Tsukimichi Moonlight Fantasy. I watched the first... One of the things I was noticing about the isekai anime is a lot of them are essentially excuses to do a harem anime. Nothing wrong with that. It's just there's a glut of them right now. And isekai? No. Tsukimichi. Thank you. Isekai genre. It's Tsukimichi, the name of the show. Saw the first episode. Guy gets sucked into another world. Battles a dragon. Dragon's like, "Oh, you beat me, and now you are my master. Here, let me make myself more comfortable." And changes into a large-breasted anime waifu. I said, are we doing the harem anime thing? It was a cute first episode. It had a lot to like. There were some funny jokes. So I tuned in today, to watch the second episode, and he fought a gigantic spider, and he beat the gigantic spider, and the gigantic spider said, "Well, he beat me, so I am your sub now. You are my dom. Let me change into anime waifu." I'm like, okay, yeah, we're doing harem anime. So, The problem with harem anime is it's rarely ever good. It's not a problem with the genre. It's just they're rarely ever any good. And I just don't have a lot of faith that Tsukimichi is going to get over that hurdle. Like, the only genuine... harem anime, what are some good ones? Ayori Ayoshi I thought was quite good. Have not seen it in 20 years, so maybe I changed my mind today, but I remember liking it. I don't know if you want to consider... what's the English title? Oh My Goddess. I don't, Bell Dandy. And Urden Scold. I don't know if you would want to consider... That one's kind of riding the line between harem anime and not. But you could consider that a harem anime, and that's a charming, fun, funny show. So it's not like you can't do harem anime. There's nothing inherently wrong with that setup. It's just they're rarely ever done well. The other isekai rather, that I watched was How a Realist Hero Built the Kingdom. Saw the 3rd episode, and this... One thing I was curious about was at the end of the second episode, he's like, I'm putting out a call for cool people to come be my employees. I'm like, oh god, is it going to be all big-breasted anime waifus? Except the one who looks 6 years old? No, not all of them. There's, so the ones who answer the call, two of them are men. Two of them are big-breasted anime waifus, and one is the lolly waifu. So, so I'm curious to see what this show's gonna do, but so far it's definitely keeping interesting to watch. It doesn't feel like it's going harem anime, but it's definitely playing up some of those tropes. But the show is unique enough that it's still got my attention, so yay. And I'm glad no one is shaming me too much in the chat for giggling about a small child getting run through with a giant sword. Let's see. DDD, ever watched Kimba the White Lion? I never have. I'm familiar with the manga. I think I read part of the manga, but I don't think I ever actually saw the animated adaptation. I, of course, have seen The Lion King, but never did see Kimba the White Lion. Dragon Ball was great anime. I did not see enough of the original Dragon Ball to really say one way or the other. I think I've only seen like 2 episodes of Dragon Ball. I don't like Z at all, though. So, Mokoto ignores his potential harem members for a good while. Mokoto is which character now? River is that in Tsukimichi? Let's see. Matthew says probably the best isekai of the last few years is How I Got Turned into a Slime. Oh, the reincarnated as a slime one. Yeah, I talked about this last week, I think. It's such a highly regarded show. I may try going back to it, but Senior Slime had it so easy. Like the gimmick of the show is that he's a slime who's way overpowered. But the problem with that is he has no challenge. Like, at least in the first 5 or 6 episodes, he doesn't face really any hardship. Everyone loves him. He gets along with everybody. He doesn't have a problem with anybody. That every issue he runs into, he immediately solves with an existing power set or developing a new power. And it got kind of boring for me. But I know the show is really, really well liked, so yeah, maybe I'll go back, pick up where I left off, and see if the show goes anywhere. Chicago says can't get into most anime. Tried watching Naruto, but felt his way over the top. Naruto is over the top. I don't like Naruto either. I've only seen like a few episodes here and there, so it's not exactly fair to the show. I didn't start from the beginning, but yeah, Naruto. I don't like the design, and it's not the worst I've ever seen. There's plenty of shows that I dislike the overall look more, but but yeah, overall I didn't really care for the look of Naruto or the humor. The fights never really did it for me, so yeah, Naruto never grabbed me either. Jared says I don't think it will go to the harem. The guy was funny. Yeah, the guy, the glutton guy. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the king or whatever his name is, Soma, what he has in mind for him. Original Dragon Ball was very much Journey to the West. That's true. It's what it's a loose adaptation of. Again, I haven't seen enough of it, really. Chaos says Dragon Ball is definitely more of a comedy adventure anime rather than straight-up action. True, from what I understand at least. Z is just they punch each other. It's silly. I just don't like Dragon Ball Z. And I feel I've seen enough to actually conclude that I don't like Dragon Ball Z. Second season of Slime, Reincarnated Slime, says Jared, has more of the difficult character challenges. Okay, glad they. I wasn't. It's fine to start out that way, but it may. If I watch the entire first season, I may say, okay, you probably should have had Mr. Slime face some hardships a little bit earlier, because it's the same problem, as I mentioned last week, it's the same problem that characters like Hercules and Superman have. It's very difficult for a lot of writers to figure out a way to challenge our characters when they can do everything. Superman has nearly every power in the book. So you have to come up with characters that, problems that Superman just can't punch away, is the challenge. And there have been a lot of really great Superman stories. It can be done. Not easy, but it can be done. River says, there is one blessed by the gods about a 30-year-old salaryman getting reincarnated as a boy and tames slimes and evolves them. Is that a different one? 30-year-old salaryman gets reincarnated as a boy. 30. It's always a, that describes a few, but reincarnated as a boy and reigns. I'm not recalling that one. Have I seen Tekkamon Blade? I have not. Hello, Scotty, by the way. Goku's based off the Monkey King. That's true. You'll notice in Dragon Ball he has a tail. Rides a cloud. Yeah. Z is also the yelling show. It's like, are you constipated? Have I watched Invisible? I'm gonna have to Google because I'm not sure. Let's see. Is it an anime or Invisible? Let's see. TTT. Invisible Man, Invisible Guest, Invisible City, Invisible Guardian, Invisible Man, The Invisible, Invisible Life, Memoirs of an Invisible Man. Come on. Can anyone watch Invisible, says Chicago. That's cool. I'm not seeing it. Is it an anime? Is it actually called Invisible? What service is it on, if any? Someone last week recommended, what is it called? Shoot, did I not write it down? What the hell is it called? Nope. Scrolling through a list, that's probably fun. No. Well, poop. What in biscuit's name is this? I'm gonna find it. Because I know I watched it. The hell is it called? It's the one where the people work in a life lessons with Uramichi Onisan. Did I not write that down on my list? Oh, yeah, there it is. I just missed it. Life lessons with Uramichi Onisan. It's about a group of people, 30-year-olds, who put on a, essentially Barney the Dinosaur type children's show. One nice thing about it is it doesn't star kids. It stars, adults. It's something I always appreciate in anime. It's a weird show. I don't think they're doing it right because... Well, that's not the proper way to say it. It's not working for me so far because it's about, basically a 30-year-old who does a Blues Clues type of show, and he is just utterly depressed and cannot deal with this crap anymore, so he starts kind of breaking down on the set. But no one seems to notice or care. Even though he's being really weird and creepy around the kids, and the kids are picking up on it, although they get over it fairly quickly. The producers and director of the show are just like, yeah, it's good. What? Am I supposed to believe that no one can hear him when he's talking to the kids in a creepy way? Or I don't know. I like the concept. The show just wasn't really working for me. Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Oh, the fan thing. Yeah, I've seen a couple episodes of it. It has some laughs. It's on Amazon. Okay, let's try this again. Amazon Invincible. Oh, Jesus, the cartoon, yeah, the superhero. How in the biscuits did I not... Yeah, Invincible, yes, I did watch that. Did a debut review for that, I believe? Pretty sure. Yeah, I did end up watching the entire first season, and I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was a good watch. Yeah, Invincible, that is what it's called, and... for some reason, just was not in my head. Superhero cartoon on Amazon. Yes. I did see it, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, life lessons with Uramachi Onisan. Isn't that Blue's Clues for real? Maybe. They've had like 3 or 4 hosts on Blue's Clues now. So I went to physical therapy for my knees, and my physical therapist, so my issue is my IT bands, the muscles on the outside of my leg, are very, very tight. So her idea for this week was, I'm going to take this here spackle knife and spackle putty, and I'm just gonna grind the hell out of your IT bands. I said, yeah, alright, I'm sure that'll work great. So she did. It wasn't a spackle knife, kind of looked like a spackle knife, basically used it like a spackle knife, and it wasn't spackle putty. I guess it was more like Bengay or something like that. She actually called it a shark tooth. And it does look like a gigantic shark tooth. It's black and it's polished to a shine, and it's got a fairly sharp edge to it. Not enough to cut, but so she scrapes some white paste out with her shark tooth, and just along the side of my leg. And she's like, "Tell me if it hurts." Okay. It's like I could feel it, but it doesn't hurt. But that's weird, is I'm not very in tune with my own body, so I wonder a lot of times if I don't experience pain the way I really should be. It's like, are you sure that doesn't hurt? I'm like, I can feel it, but it's not particularly comfortable, but, go for it. And it was enough. I had bruises all up the side of my leg. So I'm wondering if I don't feel correctly. But I did think her little shark tooth / spackle knife tool was pretty funny. She also shaved my leg with a shark tooth? Nah, it wasn't that sharp. I've had my leg shaved before, or rather a patch out of my right thigh, because I had to be grounded for a surgery that I had many, many years ago. Had my septum straightened so I could breathe. And they shaved a patch off of my thigh and grounded me and looked very silly, but I wear pants, so it doesn't really matter. What's my intake on the Rugrats remake? I don't like Rugrats, so I don't particularly care about the remake. I hope that it makes fans of the original happy. I think it's CG, right? But I never liked Rugrats. Another show with off-puttingly ugly character design, to me anyway. And I never connected with it, didn't like it, so I have no interest in the remake. But I hope it entertains old and new fans alike, or entertains old fans and entertains new ones. So Comic-Con's happening apparently. I could have talked about it, but there's like nothing happening that I'm particularly interested in. Let's see. No, I don't care. Nope, don't care. Don't care about Rick and Morty, G.I. Joe, Star Trek thing. Don't care. Ooh, Dragon Prince. Let's see what this is about. I like Dragon Prince. So they're still working on the next 4 chapters of Dragon Prince. Cool, because I like Dragon Prince. Dragon Prince was good. First look at the hero bunny of Netflix's Samurai Rabbit, the Usagi. Is that Usagi Yojimbo? Doesn't look like him. I mean, he's an anthropomorphic bunny, so his ears are tied up in a, man bun. So Miyamoto Usagi. Yeah. Usagi Yojimbo. Okay, that's a interesting design. Marvel and DC stuff. Oh, are they making a Netflix adaptation of Bone? Okay, cool. I read Bone. It's pretty decent. All right, yeah. There's Comic-Con. There's my review of Comic-Con. Have I seen Space Jam? You mean the original? Yeah. It's horrible. Well, I mean, I didn't care for it. So I have zero interest in Space Jam Legacy? Is that what the new one's called? Lee says I thought it wasn't because of COVID. Well, the Comic-Con is all digital this year, which is how I watch comic, even though I live right next to it. It's how I've watched it every year, so just not a ton really interesting stuff yet. But, I mean, maybe all the cool stuff's coming tonight or tomorrow. I don't know. Michael Jordan was better in the first... Is he in the second movie? No, Michael Jordan was bad. Very stiff and bland. But then again, he's not an actor. So, I'm not going to hold it against him. The guy in the new one, I don't know who that is, but another basketball player, I'm sure. Space Jam, desperate grab for cash. Whatever happened to Spaceballs, the search for more money? I don't care. I mean, I've heard some people say it's garbage, the new Space Jam, and I've heard other people say, it's fun. Great. I didn't care for the first one, so I have no interest in the second one. I will probably never watch it unless I happen to be somewhere where it's playing. Like, maybe someday I'll visit a friend at their house. That's something that may happen again one day. And maybe they'll put on Space Jam Legacy to try and keep the kids quiet for 5 minutes. And maybe instead of hanging out with my friend, I'll sit on the couch and watch Space Jam Legacy with her dumb kids. I don't know why I'd do that. but I could, that might be a circumstance in which I'd see the movie. I have nothing against it, honestly. It's just nothing that really interests me. I like the Looney Tunes just fine, but Michael Jordan was good in Black Panther. I think that kid's going places. Could do a review in the new Jam. I don't have HBO Max, so I couldn't even if I wanted to. All right. Well, it's a little past 8. Ooh. There we go. That's nice. So I think we will wrap up the show. Chicago says more like, if you kids don't behave, we'll put on Space Jam. Yeah. Don't make me threaten you with Space Jam. I was trying to make like a peanut butter and jam, but that's jelly. So it didn't really work. A failed joke. Tomorrow, we are going to play a game called Murder by Numbers. It's a P-Cross game. And it's really cute. And I hope you'll like it. And I hope I don't embarrass myself trying to play a puzzle game on stream and then getting hopelessly stuck on a puzzle. Because that's embarrassing. But, I mean... I did the reacting to kittens video that's so popular, so I'm kind of immune to embarrassment. Yeah, what's weird is I'll do that miming masturbating to kittens joke, but I'm uncomfortable. Like, I've lived here for 5-some years. I've never gone to the pool because I don't like being shirtless. I'm very, very body shy. Go figure. But if it's funny enough, a lot of times I'll do it. Picross, not P-cross. Yes, Picross. Actually, I'm... Oh, all-knowing dictionary. How is Picross? Well, I guess it would, because it's you're picking a thing across, so it probably is pick. It's not in the dictionary. Picross is not in the dictionary, but I'm going to guess that River is correct and that the proper pronunciation of Picross is Picross, as in pick and cross, a portmanteau of pick and cross, not P-cross. So, I'm gonna guess you're right on that one, River. So, all right, that's it. Join me tomorrow, noon Pacific Standard Time, for some Murder by Numbers. And other than that, have a good night, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.